Hello, in this video we're gonna show you how to create a dependency injection manager. In order to start the project, we have Visual Studio, then click on File, that is here, New Project, then a class library. Its name will be IOC DM. That means dependency manager. Click on finish and we have the project onto the screen. This reference is now needed. We have to rename the file. Press F2. The new name IOCDM capital C .cs. Click on finish. Then we have to create a new variable, private hash table underscore hash table semicolon. We have to include the reference hash table, using system.collection. Then you have to create two another methods, public register type with its arguments boolean register type, string name, and object underscore object. Okay, then underscore hash table that add object key name and the object value underscore object. Then you have to return true, and finally you have to enclose all these statements in a try catch behavior. The catch will be in case of an error, exception X, curly braces, console that write line X that get base exception that to a string left parenthesis and right parenthesis semicolon, and finally return false. We have to organize the code as you see right now, and everything is done. Now we have to implement the next method. The next method will be here, public boolean resolve string name, curly braces, for each dictionary entry in hash table underscore hash table, excuse me, hash underscore hash table, curly braces, if curly braces, if entry that value that equals, excuse me, again that equals left parenthesis and right parenthesis equals name, then return entry that value and finally return null, return null. We have an error here, entry that value, and what is the problem? What is the problem here? Okay, the not boolean object here. This is the error. Now everything is done. We have to try the code in another project. Then I close it and add a new project here. Add new project, console application, console test. Okay. Let's see the name IOCDM. We have to add the reference at first here, then add reference IOCDM. Okay, now you have to write IOCDM equals to new IOCDM semicolon. Then you have to register the class we created before. That is IOCD that register type name client and the object new client. But we have a problem. We have to create the class new at new element client.cs. Okay, and we have to define a new function or new method that is public below public string below that return below ein a minion. The method is public string below return below ein a minion. Then in the main program I register the client type, and finally bar AUX AOCD that resolve client, and we have to perform the casting client class and prints out console.writeLine aux dot below the minion greeting below eine minion and console.readk to stop the process until finish. Then save it, click on play, and we have an error. We have an error. We have to click here, right button, and here you have to specify start. Okay, save it, then play it, and we have an error. We have an error. Stop the compilation process. Dictionary entry in hash table. If entry that value that equals name, return entry that value. But now we have to see here public bold boolean register type string 9 object that underscore object try hash table that add name object name and the object hash table that okay, everything is fine, everything is fine. We only have to define the constructor full function that is public hash table underscore hash table equals to new hash table. Okay, then save it. Hash table, what is the problem? Hash table, okay. The constructor is IOCDM. Now everything is fine. Close it. Click on play. And we have an error. We have an error. Register type. We have to compile. We have to compile everything again. Stop. Clean the solution. Clean here and clean here again. Okay. Generate the solution. Now save it and click on play. And we have an error again. Stop and let's see what is happening out that below. Save below eine minion, it's okay. And the DLL project we have to check everything is fine. Hash table that add name and the object key and object value, object value, semicolon, return true, otherwise return false, and resolve for each entry for each dictionary entry in hash table if entry that value entry that value is not correct. Entry that name, entry that key that equals name, return entry that value. Otherwise, return null. Return null. Then you have to play and everything is fine. Below, I'm a minion. And finally, we have to create a config file here, then properties, configuration, new configuration file, setting, client, a type string, scope application, and value client. Click on save. You this is the code. This is the code. Close it. And we replace it here. String name equals to properties the settings the default dot client. Change here by name and change here by name underscore name. Okay. Release version. Play it, and the result is okay. Below I'm a minion. This is everything for this video. I hope you like it. Sayonara.